Okay, sketch the following function and state its domain and range. Alright, so for the first function we have 4 minus 1 minus x squared. And then for b we have a function g, which is the modulus of 2x minus 1 plus 2. Right, so we do for the first question first, which is the function of a quadratic function. Right, so first we can expand this equation, okay, because we want to identify what is the coefficient for x squared. So we can expand first. So 1 minus x squared is equals to 1 minus 2x plus x squared. So outside here we have a negative sign, so we can multiply each of this term with negative value. So it's become 4 minus 1 plus 2x minus x squared. Okay, and then we can simplify. 4 minus 1 is 3, or this is also equals to negative x squared plus 2x plus 3. Right, so that's mean a is equals to negative 1. So that's mean the shape for this graph is a set shape. Okay, alright, so that's for the shape. And then we can find, okay, since we have this type of shape, okay, so it's going to have a maximum point up here. Okay, so to find the maximum point, we can use this formula, which is negative b over 2a, f of the b, negative b over 2a. So first we find negative b over 2a, and b is equals to 2. So we can substitute to this formula. So the negative 2, okay, over 2a. So 2a is negative 1, right? And then we can simplify. So 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. So we have negative negative here, which is become positive. So 2 over 2, which is 1. Right, so b, negative b over 2a is equals to 1. So we have the x coordinate, which is 1. And then f negative b over 2a, this is equivalent to f1. Right, so we're going to find the f1. So we just substitute 1 into the function. So 4 minus 1 minus 1 squared. So 1 minus 1 is 0. So we have 4 minus 0, which is 4. So that's mean the maximum point is at 1, 4. Okay, so now we have the maximum point, and then we can find the intercept. So we have two intercept, which is y-intercept and x-intercept. Right, so for y-intercept, this is when x equals to 0, we substitute x equals to 0 into our function. So we get y is equals to 3. And then for x-intercept, then is when y equals to 0. So that's mean, okay, I take from this completing the square form. So 4 minus 1 minus x squared equals to 0. Okay, so 1 minus x squared is equals to 4. So square, we can take the square root both sides. So at the right hand side we have plus minus. So we have plus minus here because from square it becomes square root. So we have plus minus. So square root 4 is 2. Okay, so we have plus minus 2 here, and then we rearrange, we get x is equals to 1 plus minus 2, or this is equivalent to 1 plus 2 or 1 minus 2. Okay, 1 plus 2 equals to 3. Okay, 1 minus 2 is negative 1. So we have 2 x-intercept, which is at 3 and negative 1. So now we can sketch the graph. Okay, alright, so we have x and y axis, and then we can sketch the maximum point. So maximum point at 1, 4. Okay, so 1, 4, the point is here. Okay, this is the maximum point. And then we have y-intercept at 3. Okay, here. And then we have x-intercept at negative 1. Okay, and 3. Right, so the shape for the graph is the set shape here. So we're starting from the maximum point and we draw to the bottom here. Okay, so the shape is going to be like this. Okay, so the maximum point must be the maximum of the graph. Right, so we get the graph. So now we're going to determine the domain and range. So the domain, okay, for this function Okay, from the left is from negative infinity and to the right is infinity. So the domain is from negative infinity to infinity, and then the range, okay, from the bottom is at negative infinity, okay, and to the top, okay, the maximum value, maximum point there, which is at 4. So the range is from negative infinity to 4. Right, so that is for the first function. Okay, now for the second function, we have g equals to absolute value of 2x minus 1 plus 2. So this is a graph for absolute value. Okay, so first we can determine the shape. So the shape is determined by the sign of x and sign of y. Right, so the sign of x we see at in front of x. Okay, in front of x is positive, so positive. And then for the sign of y, we look at the modulus. So the modulus is also positive. So positive, positive will be in the first quadrant. So the shape is a shape of V like this. And then we can find the point P, where the P is the vertex of this graph. Okay, the point P is there. So we need to find the point P. Okay, so point P should have x and y coordinate. Okay, so to find the x coordinate, okay, we take inside the modulus, which is 2x minus 1. Okay, and we equate equals to 0. Okay, so and then we simplify, we get x is equals to half. So this will be the x coordinate. Was for the y coordinate, okay, we copy the whole function. Okay, and then we change the function. Okay, digit x become y, and then the whole absolute value is becoming 0. Okay, so what is left is y is equals to 2. So that means the point P is at half 2. Okay, so this is the point P, and then we can find the intercept. So for y-intercept, this is when x equals to 0. So when x equals to 0, y is equals to absolute value of 2 times 0 minus 1 plus 2. So 2 times 0, which is 0. Okay, so 0 minus 1 is negative 1. Okay, and negative 1. Okay, modulus of negative 1 is 1. So 1 plus 1, 3. So we have the y-intercept at 3. And then x-intercept, this is when y equals to 0. So modulus of 2x minus 1 plus 2 equals to 0. And modulus of 2x minus 1 is equal to negative 2. Right, so for this function, this is undefined because the modulus cannot equals to a negative value. So that means there are no x-intercept for this function. Alright, so now we can sketch the graph. Right, so we sketch the point P first. Okay, so we put the axis y, x and y axis, and then the point P at half, okay, 0.52. So this is the point P. Alright, and then we have the y-intercept at 3. Alright, and then we put the shape, okay, which is the V shape. Okay, so the graph will be like this. Okay, so this is the graph for the function g. And then we can determine the domain and range. So the domain is from negative infinity to infinity, and the range is from 2 to, okay, from the bottom here, which is 2, and the upward, which is infinity.